it's done. All right, here we go, here we go. All right. Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're doing part 2 of my second quarter palette roundup for 2022. So if you like that kind of content, make sure you stay tuned. A lot to get out. Anyways, yes, hello and welcome. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're returning, I truly appreciate your continued love and support. In today's video, as I've talked about, we're doing part 2 of the quarterly roundup, so the second quarter of 2022 for eyeshadow palettes that I've tried between April, May, and June. Yeah, so it was really hard to round these up to decide what was, you know, what I liked better than the others, but I'm pretty okay with where I am with this. So yes, so if you like this kind of content though, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, turn on all notifications, and otherwise, let's just get right into the video. All right, so yes, this was difficult. Hopefully you saw part 1 already. If you haven't, recommend you check that out because you'll definitely want to see what palettes I tried in that part, and then yeah, what I had to continue on to with this part. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll start with, I guess, palette number 25, I guess, technically. So what I put in this spot was the Disney Colourpop Winnie the Pooh palette. Very, very cute palette. I really did enjoy this palette. I did a couple of looks, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 looks in a row, and was able to get some different looks. So I was excited about that because, you know, some palettes you're just, you know, no matter what you do, the looks are gonna look similar. So I was excited about this one, and you know, I love Winnie the Pooh, grew up with Winnie the Pooh. So some of the shades here though, this bluish color kind of surprised me because it's kind of a green blue. And then I really like this color next to it. So yeah, so I just figured I'd swatch a few of these so you can kind of see the formula. But yeah, really pretty. And I was impressed. I was impressed with the quality of this one. And again, you know, just shows you what Colourpop can do. You know, it's kind of hit or miss sometimes, but this is definitely one of the hits. So definitely enjoyed this palette. Next here are going to be a few Colourpop palettes. So Colourpop Star Wars palette. This really surprised me. I actually really enjoyed this palette. And what I ended up doing here, which I'll show you in a second, is mixing it with the next palette and really came up with a cute look. Surprisingly, I didn't think I'd really enjoy the red or whatever, but it did give it some dimension. I actually really liked it. So that was the Star Wars, the Darth Vader palette, and then I have the regular Star Wars palette. Now this one definitely surprised me. I was very happy with this palette. This shade, I think it's here in the corner. It's really, really cool. That swirl in there, it really, like the way it goes on your lid, it's so pretty. In some of these, I will show looks. I'll insert some looks I did with some of these palettes, but I was really impressed with this palette. I really like it. It definitely surprised me. So like I'll show you like a couple the special shades. There's that one there, and then there's the one at the bottom here that's like a bluish swirl, but they really surprised me how pretty they were. I was like, oh, I was like, nice. And it's cool too because when you put it on, I mean, it has so much dimension to it that, you know, it looks different depending on angle, how you swirl it in there. So, you know, it can look different each time. It's kind of cool. So, but I really enjoyed these. I really enjoyed I'm actually really enjoying the whole Star Wars, you know, palette, Star Wars series of Colourpop's palettes though. So next one here, another Colourpop is the One and Done. This one definitely surprised me. I didn't expect to like this one as much as I did, but I did a look with this, and again, I do have to watch with some of the pinks, but I think it was this color here called You Bet. I think it was that one. I was like, oh, it actually ended up being really pretty because it has kind of a peachy pink shift there. And then I think it was this one here called Coattails. That one was really pretty too. And then, yeah, because they're like kind of dimensional, like they're not just a simple shadow. And then, that's just a basic brown. I don't want to show you that. Let's show you this pink one. Nice and bright. But yeah, ooh, look at that. So yeah, ooh, goodness. But yeah, so that really surprised me though. I really actually enjoyed that palette. So one of the better ones I've had from Colourpop recently. So next palette I have here is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Pillow Talk Dreams palette. It's actually a really cute little quad. I did like it. Only reason it's a little bit further down is, again, I mean, it's only going to give you so many looks, but the quality is great. So And I actually do like it better than the regular Pillow Talk. I never really got along with the regular Pillow Talk palette. I didn't think it was anything real special. And one of the shades is like hard panned on me, which I'm like, I have barely even used it, so why would it be hard panned? But anyways, but yeah, so this one I actually do really like though. It's a nice little palette, so definitely recommend that. And might as well just swatch this last shade too, since, you know, finish up the quad. There. Really pretty though. Did enjoy that palette. Now this one really surprised me. I took this on vacation with me. I was really glad I did. It's the Coast is Clear from the Starry Eyes collection. But this color story in here, I really like cool tone shadows. I'm finding more and more I really like cool tone. But these, that one's definitely a super shock, and there might be another one that's a super shock. But this shade especially, like, I don't know, there was a couple times I wore it and it really just finished the look. Like it was really, really pretty. But I really enjoy this palette. I don't know. And it might not be very special to other people, but for some reason, I just really got along well with this palette. I just thought it was really good quality. And I definitely like it better than the other two in this same, you know, Starry Eyes collection. So that was my favorite of the three. I really like it. All right, I definitely tried some new indie brands this time around. I was really excited. One of them I had tried before, but it had been a while, and that is Copacetic Cosmetics. This is the Haze Palette. I think this is beautiful, and this holographic packaging is really, really cool too. But this palette, I was like, oh my gosh, and actually thinking about this, I probably should have put this a little bit higher up on the on the thing, but I'm like, oh well. But yeah, some of these shadows, I was just like, ooh, so pretty. But man, now see, this is what I'm talking about. Like some of these, for like special shades, I'm like, yeah, so pretty. But yeah, there's just a few of them there, but love this palette. I think it's beautiful, love the color story, just gorgeous. Like those are my kind of tones. Like if I'm gonna wear a colorful shadow, this is just kind of what I go for. Pinks, purples, lighter shades, you know, that's just kind of my thing. So I was definitely excited about that one. And actually really thinking about it, I probably should have put that one higher up, quite honestly. And now looking at it, I'm like, why was that further down? I don't know. Next one I have here, and this is a newer brand to me that I tried, Sugar Drizzle Polish. And this is the Butterfly palette. It is pretty. Actually, the Copacetic one, though, I think goes above this one. So again, I don't quite know why I did this way. But yeah, look at those shifty shades though, man. Oh, so pretty. Just beautiful. But yeah, there's a couple of those shadows there if you can see them, man. But it's great quality. I've enjoyed this brand. Like I said, they're definitely newer to me, but I did grab a few palettes and I'll show you the ones that I did grab here. Actually, maybe I'll just go in line with those. So the other Sugar Drizzle I bought is the original one, and then the MILF palette I finally got a hold of. I wanted to order it the first time around, but I don't know, I think when I went on there, it sold out within like a few minutes, and I was like, oh crap, and I missed it. But got it the second time around, so that's okay. But yeah, these shades, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, these special like indie brand shifty shades are just gorgeous. Oh, so maybe I'll do these down here because I am starting to get a little glittery on top there. But yeah, just look at those. Look how pretty that is. Oh, love this palette, love this brand, love indie brands, period. Yeah, so it would have been higher up, but again, a lot of this I rated on stuff that I'm going to wear more often, like that I would, you know what I mean, just normally just reach for. So that's why some of these are a little bit lower. It's not that they're not good quality, because any of these in this second half, these are all good palettes. But again, a lot of it was based on color story and like what I'm most likely to reach for. So, and then this is the MILF palette. Again, just a beautiful, beautiful mix of some shifty, colorful shades. Oh, love it. I'm just gonna put those below just so you can kind of see. Ooh, man, look at that blue. But yeah, oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Love my indie brands. Telling you, don't sleep on them. Go grab yourself an indie brand shadow palette. You know what I mean? And then the other one here, Clarity Cosmetics, was another one that I just tried recently. This is the Evil Mermaid palette. It's beautiful as well. And again, I think still, honestly, if I had to re-rate this, the Haze would be above this, above these ones that I'm showing you now. Just because, again, it's definitely one that I would be more likely to reach for. But look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at those shadows. And I'll swatch these up here. Woo. Goodness gracious. Look at that. Oh, goodness. Look at that. My gosh. telling you. Oh, indie brands, they are just amazing. So special. Highly recommend. So the next palette in my roundup here is the Pat McGrath, the Bridgerton II palette. I mean, it's pretty, but again, it's a very specific color story, and I'm just like, I need her to do something other than pinks. These pinks are just starting to get to me. Like, everything is pink. They are pretty though. It's a pretty palette, but like I said, I need something other than pinks. So yeah, very, very pretty. And I don't know which one I like better, Bridgerton 1 or 2. So they're both just a little bit different. So next one here is Oden's Eye, Solmane 2 palette. This is really pretty too. Again, the reason this is a little bit further down is majority of these I'm gonna wear is this middle row. This is a little bit too warm toned for me. I'm not as into like that kind of warm tone. And then I'm not really into blues. I need to try, I really do need to try to get into some blue shadows and, you know, test them out a little, but I'm just, I don't know, I just have my stuff that I'm used to. So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty. Let me put it below there. It's a beautiful palette. Great quality. Love Oden's Eye. So highly recommend the brand. But again, the color story just wasn't one that spoke to me as much. So the next one here is Clionadh Cosmetics Dragon Fruit palette. I did a review on this one, so I will link that in the cards here so you can see that. Beautiful. Now you want to talk about all your topper shades, which, you know, I'm showing you some other ones that have all topper shades too, but again, definitely tones that I would enjoy. So most of these, other than maybe the greens, I would wear a lot. So just gonna put that down there so you can see. But very, very pretty. Like I said, I did a whole review on this, so if you want to see more specifically my thoughts on it, definitely catch that video there. But I really do love Clionadh Cosmetics. If you're looking for like special single shadows, like, you know, your multi-chromes, duochromes, you know, just very unique shadows, Clionadh Cosmetics does it right, for sure. Definitely recommend them. Next here is another Clarity Cosmetics palette. Again, this is a little bit higher up for me because of the color story. This just speaks to me, and just the fact that it says I love coffee is the palette, you know. Just that alone, I'm like, oh yeah, but these shades in here, like this shade is intense. These metallics, oh my gosh, they're like, that is like, oh my gosh. So yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh. This palette, I got this on a whim because, you know, I ordered the Evil Mermaid palette, I think it was, and then I was like, you know, let me try out something else from the brand because, you know, I'd never tried them, and I saw this palette and I was like, oh yeah, you're speaking my language right there. And just show you the matte just so you can kind of see what their mattes look like. But oh, beautiful. Woo! Now this speaks to me. There's like not a shade in here that I wouldn't use. Now it's a little bit warmer tone, so, you know, but I can make that work. Like, it's still something neutral enough that I can make work. So, but that's gorgeous. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, oh my gosh. Next, I have the Sephora Pocket Palette. I've talked about this multiple times, multiple videos, but it's the cool tone browns or cold brown tones, whatever they want to call it here, but love this palette. This went on vacation. Yeah, this did go on vacation with me, but these tones, it's basically like that coffee, I Love Coffee palette, just toned down. So like just your everyday wear palette. But I love this palette. I think it's really great quality. I think I got it for like $5 because I got it during the Sephora sale, and, you know, it was already on sale. So yeah, was like, oh yeah, you got me. So just price alone and how much I've actually reached for this and want to reach for it is why it's higher up on my list. But one of my favorite palettes. So like a smaller palette, more compact palette. Love that palette. Wonderful. Great quality. All right, we're getting to the top here. So these ones are definitely were a little bit harder to figure out what was like top, but next I have Sigma's new Mod palette. I have to say, Sigma's really gotten me lately. I really, really have enjoyed their palettes, their formulas. Great, just everyday kind of palette. But yeah, great quality, great color stories they come up with. I really enjoy what they have to offer. So just to show you a few of those, maybe I'll show you a couple more, just to give you a little bit more idea. what to expect of theirs. Yeah, see, just so pretty. So pretty, great. I mean, you know, nice neutral looks you can do with that. Still glam it up a little bit. That's beautiful, beautiful palette. So I've really been enjoying that. One of my favorites that I've talked about a lot is Wet n Wild Always Naked palette. Hard to believe this little under $9 palette is so high up on my list, but I really truly enjoy this palette. Other than these pressed glitters, I wish I'd quit putting pressed glitters in here, but this palette is just gorgeous. These metallics are very buttery, very smooth. Sorry, I've dug in that one so much. I might be getting hard pan a little bit, but I guess I'll put them down here so you can see. Yeah, just a gorgeous everyday palette. I've just really enjoyed it. It really surprised me how much I've enjoyed. But yeah, even like the matte, just nice and smooth. A little bit of kick up, but nothing I can't handle. And sorry, I didn't swatch this one as good. I think I've been putting my hand in there so much, like using it so much, that I think I need to like work with it a little bit. But I definitely love this palette for $9. I'm like, yeah, well worth it. Next is the NARS Summer Unrated palette. I did look, I think this one is now, you know, unfortunately they keep making theirs limited edition, so I think it's gone now, but I hope you did get your hands on it while it was still around. It's a gorgeous palette, and these metallics, again, beautiful, like satiny metallic shades. They're just gorgeous. Now again, I took this one on vacation. Only reason I really didn't use it though is because, again, what I was wearing during my vacation, it just wasn't anything, you know, that would go with this palette for the most part, because I pretty much wear like cooler tones and purples and that kind of thing, but still beautiful palette. Love this palette, glad I have it. So there's just a little rundown of that, but highly, highly recommend. If you did get it, I hope you're enjoying it. All right, next on my list is Adept Cosmetics and Heather Austin palette. Oh, beautiful. I did a whole review on this one too, so I'll link that in here in the cards. But this, for an indie brand, for like a special, this just speaks to me. I mean, all those first shades in that first row, I'm like, oh, just gorgeous, gorgeous. Great quality. I just really love this palette. And they recently, I don't know if they redid the Codan palette or if they just I don't know if they reformulated it or, you know, just put it back on their site again, you know, and reselling it. But I did miss out on that one. But again, I don't know if it was the same as what I already had or if it was any different. But yeah, but there's a rundown of just a few of the shadows there. But like I said, I did a whole review. So if you want to see further, or, you know, more detail, definitely check out that video. I love that palette. It's beautiful, gorgeous. All right, my last few palettes here, I did kind of sneak one in, so I'll show you here in a minute. But M Cosmetics, and actually I meant to put the Venetian Rose in this Roundup a little bit higher up. Somehow it got mixed in with my other one, but again, still two of my favorite ones are the Da Vinci and the Rodin. Rodin is definitely my favorite. Da Vinci is a little bit darker, which is why that one's, you know, a little bit higher up, but a little bit more warm tone too. But again, these metallic shades, I mean, they're just so buttery smooth. I can't explain it, but they're just gorgeous. Just a gorgeous palette overall. Love these little palettes, and they're just so compact, easy to travel with, easy to, you know, take with you. So definitely appreciate that. And then the Rodin, which is my favorite. Again, these are just shadows that speak to me, like as far as the color story, just speaks to me. And I think this one shadow is actually like a topper shade. Yeah, hope I'm not messing them up too much. I keep digging them in there with my fingers, but you know. But yeah, so those are those two palettes. I love them, love the brand, like I've talked about over and over again. One of my favorite brands. Now, one I snuck in here, and I don't really know if that's fair, if this is really where it belongs or not, but I did put the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette in light, just because it does have, you know, 5 eyeshadows there, so technically a palette. But I love this palette. I think it's a great everyday take with you palette. I took this on vacation, and I just love the fact that it has everything you need in one palette other than a bronzer. But again, sometimes, you know, you can even go without using a bronzer, so technically it does have, you know, you can make it like a full look just with this one palette. But love the quality, love Natasha Denona, and I'm definitely glad to have had this palette. So glad I was able to pick it up. All right, top 2 palettes, here we go, drum roll. Okay, anyways, better. Number two, sorry, I gotta clean it off here a little bit because it's a mess. Patrick Ta, Major Dimensions 2, Rose Edit. Love this palette, gorgeous. Every time I use it, I'm like, man, I'm like, it's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful tones, beautiful palette. And yeah, just love the quality, love the color story. And definitely think this one, I still stand by that this one is better than the first one. So if you have the first one and you're like, you know, maybe not as blown away and thought, nah, I don't know if I want to try the second one because of that, don't judge it by the first one. This one is better. It's definitely better. But yeah, just to show you a little bit of that. And then it has the cream shadows under this little cover too, which is really nice. And I am using cream shadows more and more lately. So like I have the shadow sticks. I have been enjoying some cream shadows lately. So who would have thunk? Here I am. All right, guys, number 1. You're not gonna be surprised because it was number 1 in my favorites. So, Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau Palette, or however you say it. Love this palette. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It is just, it's me. Like I've said before, it's just, yeah, everything I want in a palette. It's buttery smooth, pigmented, wears so well. And just the fact that even with the one palette, you can get so many different looks. Like I've done, I think 4 or 5 different looks, and each of them looks different. Like maybe not like, you know, extremely different. There are, you know, a couple of the looks that look similar, but still different enough that, you know what I mean? It's so well worth it. And I figured I'd just swatch all of these because I love this palette so much. I just want to swatch it all. So here we go. But yeah, so that's the first row. And do the second row here. Try to do that quickly there for you. Yep. And then the last 3. And I think I've used every shadow in here. I believe so at this point. But yeah, there it is. And look how smooth, how easy that was to swatch. It's just as good in the eyes, I'm telling you. I love this palette. It is just me in a palette. So far, my favorite palette of the year. So we'll see. We'll see what the rest of 2022 has to offer. If anything bumps it out of first place. Stay tuned. All right. Well, thank you for hanging in there with me. Hope you enjoyed that second part of you know, my second quarter roundup of 2022, my eyeshadow palettes that I've tried and enjoyed, and yeah, my thoughts on them. So let me know what you think down below. Do you have any of these palettes? Are you now wanting to try any of these palettes? Let me know your thoughts down below. Love to hear from you. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to go out and enjoy the little bit of sunshine that's left for the day. And I do hope to see you again in my next video. Bye! Greatly appreciate you. So June, July, and August, or I don't even know what month it is anymore. Very cute little palette. Sorry, something in there. Yeah, rendition palette. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I'm gonna stain my finger. God, I'm a mess. Whew. Sorry, I gotta clean this off, otherwise I'm gonna be just one big glitter bomb mess. Okay, get ready for the next round. All right. Oh man, running out of juice here. But like I said, at least I finally get to put all this stuff away now, because it's been insane. All this stuff just sitting around. I'm like, whew, okay.